June 14, 1940. 11:47 p.m. Kent countryside, England. The Heinkel He-111 bomber slices through the black English night like a shark in dark waters. Oberleutnant Hans Kruger grips the controls, his knuckles white against the cold metal. Sweat beads on his forehead despite the chill seeping through the cockpit glass. Below, the patchwork of fields and hedgerows blurs into an inky void, broken only by the faint glint of moonlight on a distant river. His bombardier, Fritz, calls out from the nose. Target in sight, Herr Oberleutnant. Lights on the runway. Planes lined up like sitting ducks. Kruger's heart pounds. This is it, the airfield at Biggin Hill, a key RAF base. Intelligence says it's packed with Spitfires, ripe for destruction. He banks the plane slightly, engines droning a low, ominous growl. The flak guns should open up any second now, but the night stays eerily quiet. He doesn't know it yet, but he's flying straight into a lie. Cut back to 1939, in the dim-lit offices of the British War Ministry in London. Colonel John Turner, a grizzled engineer with a pipe perpetually clenched in his teeth, paces before a map pinned to the wall. The Blitz hasn't started yet, but everyone knows it's coming. Hitler's Luftwaffe is gearing up to pound Britain into submission. Turner slams his fist on the table. We can't just build more airfields, we need to build ones that aren't there. His team, a ragtag group of architects, artists, and stage designers pulled from London's theaters, nods in agreement. This is the birth of starfish sites and decoy airfields, Britain's desperate bid to fool the enemy from the sky. They start small. Cardboard planes, painted canvas hangars, even lights rigged to mimic runway flares. It's theater on a grand scale, where the audience is death from above. Back in the Heinkel, Kruger drops altitude. The airfield sharpens into view, long strips of tarmac, rows of fighters silhouetted against the ground. Bombs away, he mutters, signaling Fritz. The bay doors creak open, and the first payload whistles downward. Explosions rip through the night, fireballs blooming like deadly flowers. But something's wrong. No anti-aircraft fire. No scrambling pilots. Just silence after the blasts, broken by the crackle of burning. What? Wood. Fabric. Kruger circles for another pass, confusion knotting his gut. What the hell is this? Miles away, in a hidden bunker, RAF observer Sergeant Tom Wilkins lowers his binoculars, a grim smile cracking his face. Got 'em again, lads. Jerry's bombing the dummies. The fear is real, though. One wrong calculation, and the real bases, Manston, Hawkinge, could be next. Lives hang on painted lies. Flash to 1940, early spring. Turner's team expands. They recruit from Hollywood exiles and British film studios. Men like Basil Dean, a director known for war films, now directing Real Deception. Make it look alive, Dean insists, sketching fake tire tracks on blueprints. They use chicken wire for plane frames, cover them in burlap and paint. At night, they string lights, dim bulbs powered by generators, to simulate activity. But it's not just visuals. They add sound, gramophones blasting engine roars. Smell, oil drums leaking to mimic fuel spills. The goal: make the Luftwaffe waste bombs on nothing, buying time for the real RAF to regroup. Kruger's bomber shudders as flak finally bursts around them, not from the airfield, but from distant real guns, drawing them off. Abort! It's a trap, he shouts, yanking the stick. Shrapnel pings off the fuselage, and the plane lurches. Fritz clutches his arm, blood seeping through his uniform. They peel away, engines straining, but the damage is done. Kruger's mind races. Was that airfield real? Or did they just get played? In the war rooms of Berlin, Luftwaffe intelligence pores over reconnaissance photos. Grainy images show airfields sprouting across southern England, dozens, hundreds even. General Jeschneck rubs his chin. The Brits are building up fast. We must strike before they overwhelm us. Little do they know, most are ghosts. The Allies' deception machine is revving up, born from necessity in the dark days after Dunkirk. Turner's operation grows. By mid-1940, they've built over 200 decoy sites. Q sites, for day deception, K sites, for night. They place them near real airfields, close enough to confuse but far enough to protect. Farmers are sworn to secrecy. Their fields become stages for war's grand illusion. One night, a team hauls in a fake hurricane fighter, life-size, wooden skeleton draped in canvas. The painter, a former set designer named Elsie, wipes sweat from her brow. If this doesn't fool them, nothing will. She adds shadows with charcoal, making it pop under moonlight. But the work is dangerous. German spies lurk, and one slip could unravel everything. Kruger lands back in France, his plane riddled with holes. He storms into the briefing room, slamming photos on the table. That wasn't Biggin Hill. It was a bloody fake. His commander frowns. Impossible. Our recon confirmed it. But doubt creeps in. The Luftwaffe's bombs are finite. Each wasted run costs planes, pilots, fuel. And Britain. They're laughing in the shadows. Deeper into the B story. It all traces back to 1917, World War I, when the British first experimented with dummy trenches and fake artillery. But World War II demands more. Enter Dudley Clark, the master of deception. A flamboyant officer with a flair for the dramatic, Clark heads a force in the Middle East, but his ideas bleed into Europe. We don't just hide, Clark tells his superiors in a smoke-filled room. We misdirect. Make them see what isn't there. He draws from magicians, stage illusions scaled to battlefields. By 1941, the fake airfields evolve. They add inflatable tanks, rubber runways that deflate under bomb hits but pop back up. Engineers like Turner refine the tech, pyrotechnics to simulate explosions, keeping the illusion alive even after attacks. In the A story, dawn breaks over the smoldering fake field. British ground crews rush in, not to repair planes, but to reset the decoys. Charred canvas is replaced, lights rest-rung. Sergeant Wilkins logs the raid, 20 bombs dropped. 0 casualties. Jerry fooled again. But the tension mounts. Rumors swirl of a massive Luftwaffe offensive. If the decoys fail, the real airfields, and London, will burn. Flash to Berlin, where Hermann Göring boasts to Hitler. We'll crush their air force in weeks. He points to maps dotted with Allied bases, many of them illusions planted by double agents. The double-cross system turns spies like Juan Pujol Garcia, codename Garbo, feed the Germans bogus intel. New airfields in Kent, Garbo radios. Heavy fighter concentrations. Each lie builds the web. Kruger, nursing a drink in the mess hall, stares at his bandaged co-pilot. Next time, we hit the real one. But uncertainty gnaws at him. How many more phantoms are out there? The Allies push further. In 1942, as America joins, the deception scales up. U.S. Army engineers arrive, bringing Hollywood magic. Colonel Homer Stoughton, a props master from MGM, designs collapsible hangars that fold like accordions. We make movies, Stoughton quips to Turner over tea. Now we're making war look like one. They test in remote fields, flyovers by friendly planes to check realism. One decoy fools even RAF pilots, who nearly land on it. But danger lurks. A German reconnaissance plane buzzes low over a Q site. The crew freezes, paintbrushes in hand, as the Messerschmitt circles. One twitch, and machine guns could end it all. It banks away, fooled. But hearts pound. The stakes? If exposed, the entire deception crumbles. Back to Kruger, he's assigned a new mission, scout southern England for airfield clusters. His Ju-88 races over the channel, cameras whirring. Below, decoys gleam, fake Spitfires, bogus fuel dumps. He snaps photos, convinced he's uncovered the RAF's buildup. This will change everything, he radios back. In London, Turner gets the report from observers. They bought it. Now let's build more. By 1943, hundreds of fake sites dot Britain, over 400 in total. Some are starfish decoys for cities, mimicking burning buildings to draw bombers off London. But airfields are the crown jewel, diverting thousands of tons of explosives. The human cost: crews live in isolation, paranoia their companion. One worker, young lad named Billy, confides to his diary, "Feels like we're ghosts ourselves, building shadows to fight the devil." Suspense builds. As D-Day looms, the deception shifts. Operation Bodyguard, fake armies, phantom fleets. But the airfields? They're the backbone, convincing Hitler the invasion is elsewhere. Kruger's photos land on Göring's desk. See. The Allies are weak in Normandy, their strength is in Pas-de-Calais. Göring nods, shifting divisions. The lie takes root. In the fields of Kent, Wilkins spots incoming bombers, a full squadron this time. "Here they come," he whispers into the radio. The fake lights flicker on, inviting doom. Explosions rock the earth, but it's all show. Real RAF fighters scramble from hidden bases, ready to pounce. Kruger leads the raid, vengeance in his eyes. "This time, we end it." But as bombs fall, a horrifying realization dawns. The planes don't burn right. They crumple like paper. Pull up. It's another decoy. Too late. British ack-ack opens up, tracers lighting the sky. Planes spiral down, screams lost in the roar. In the bunker, Turner lights his pipe. One more victory for the ghosts. But the war grinds on. How long can the illusion hold before the Luftwaffe sees through the smoke? And what happens when the Allies take the deception to the continent, building fakes to mask the real invasion? The answer lies in the shadows ahead, where truth and lie blur into blood. June 6, 1944. 3:22 a.m. Normandy coast, France. Paratrooper Jack Harlan dangles from his chute, wind whipping his face like icy knives. Below, the dark French landscape rushes up. Fields, hedgerows, and what looks like an airfield glowing faintly under the moon. Searchlights stab the sky, German flak erupting in furious bursts. His heart slams against his ribs. "Not the drop zone," he mutters, twisting in the harness. The airfield's lights flicker, drawing enemy fire away from the real invasion beaches. But if he lands there, he's dead, exposed, alone. Bullets zip past, close enough to singe his ear. He crashes into a ditch, mud sucking at his boots. German shouts echo nearby. This fake field, built by the Allies' own hands, might just become his grave. Cut to 1943, in a rain-lashed hangar at Pinewood Studios, England. Colonel Turner huddles with his expanded team, now including American OSS operatives and more Hollywood wizards. Maps cover the walls, marked with red pins for decoy sites. "We've fooled them in Britain," Turner says, his voice gravelly from endless cigarettes. "Now we take the show on the road." Operation Fortitude is born, the grand deception for D-Day. Fake airfields aren't just defensive anymore, they're offensive weapons, convincing Hitler the real attack is at Pas-de-Calais, not Normandy. They build ghost armies, inflatable tanks, dummy planes, even fake radio chatter. Engineers like Major Jasper Maskelyne, a stage magician turned soldier, design portable decoys, rubber aircraft that inflate in minutes, complete with painted cockpits and propellers. Back in the ditch, Harlan scrambles for cover, his M1 rifle slick with dew. Shadows move, Germans patrolling the airfield. He freezes as boots crunch gravel feet away. The decoy lights pulse, mimicking a busy base, pulling more troops toward it. Sweat stings his eyes. One wrong breath, and it's over. But the fakes are working, diverting panzers from Omaha Beach, where his brothers storm ashore at dawn. In Berlin, Field Marshal Rommel studies aerial photos, his face etched with worry. Allied airfields everywhere in southeast England, he reports to Hitler. They're massing for Calais. The photos show hundreds of planes, most phantoms, crafted from plywood and canvas. The B story deepens. It all builds on earlier tricks. In North Africa, 1942, Clark's force used decoys to fool Rommel at El Alamein, fake supply dumps, bogus troop movements. Now, they export the playbook to Europe. American General Patton is the star. Assigned to a fictional army group, he commands Decoy bases in Kent. Actors impersonate officers, scripted radio messages leak secrets. Double agents like Garbo amplify the lie, invasion at Calais imminent. Harlan hears engines overhead, Allied bombers pounding real German positions. But here, on this fake strip, anti-aircraft guns bark uselessly at the sky. He edges forward, spotting the planes, bulging shapes, not metal but fabric. Son of a... He whispers. It's one of ours, a decoy planted behind enemy lines. Risk was high planting them. Allied commandos parachuted in weeks prior, assembling fakes under cover of night. One team, led by Captain Ellis, hunkered in barns, wiring lights and speakers. If Jerry finds us, Ellis told his men, we're done. Foxholes became workshops, tension thick as fog. A patrol dog barks nearby. Harlan's pulse thunders. He rolls into shadows, praying the illusion holds just a little longer. By 1944, the fake airfield count hits peak, over 500 across Britain and now France. They use hardened surfaces that look like runways but are plowed fields with painted lines. Pyrotechnics add flair, remote detonated charges simulate hits, keeping scouts convinced. In Washington, Eisenhower approves the plan. Deception is the key, he says in a classified briefing. OSS artists forge maps, leak them via spies. The human element, recruits from displaced Europeans, sworn to silence, man the sites, moving fake vehicles to create activity. One night, a decoy crew in Dover faces horror. Luftwaffe strafes their sight, bullets tearing canvas, sparks flying. Private Lena, a WAAF operator, dives for cover. Keep the lights on, her sergeant yells. They do, drawing fire away from real ports. Blood and bravery underpin the bluff. Harlan spots a gap, Germans clustered around a hangar, poking at the deflated shell. Confusion reigns. He slips away, linking up with scattered paras. Dawn breaks, revealing the chaos. Beaches alive with landing craft, but German reserves held back, chasing ghosts. In the Führerbunker, Hitler rages. Calais. It's Calais. He withholds divisions, dooming his defenses. Göring's Luftwaffe bombs empty fields, wasting fuel as Allied fighters dominate the skies. Kruger, now a scarred veteran, leads a desperate sortie over the channel. His Focke-Wulf screams low, hunting Allied planes. Below, airfields bristle. Too many, too spread out. Which ones are real? He growls to his wingman. Cannon fire erupts, Spitfires ambush from clouds. His plane shudders, smoke trailing. Mayday! He shouts, bailing out into cold waves. Captured later, he learns the truth, duped from start to finish. The decoys evolve post-D-Day. In the Ardennes, 1944, fakes mask Allied advances during the Bulge. Inflatable B-17s draw V-1 rockets. Bogus radar sites confuse night bombers. Turner's team innovates. Camouflage nets that shift with seasons, sound trucks blaring takeoffs. Cost. Pennies compared to real bases. Lives saved. Thousands. But the toll. Crews endure bombings, some dying to sell the lie. In one raid, a starfish site near London burns bright, luring 100 bombers off the city. Rescuers find charred remains amid the props. Harlan fights on to Paris, the fake field a distant memory. But it saved him, diverting that patrol, buying precious hours. As war winds down, 1945, Allied interrogators grill captured Luftwaffe brass. Your decoys, one admits, cost us the air war. Estimates, 20% of German bombs wasted on fakes, planes lost chasing shadows. The legacy, deception becomes doctrine. Cold War sees dummy missile sites, Vietnam, fake villages. Today, digital decoys, cyber phantoms, echo those burlap planes. In a quiet Kent field, now overgrown, Wilkins, old and gray, stands where dummies once stood. We built lies to save truth, he murmurs. Wind rustles ghosts of the past. But in the annals of war, one question lingers. What if the Luftwaffe had seen through the veil sooner? Would the skies over Europe have burned differently? The phantoms fade, but their echo remains, a testament to ingenuity in the face of annihilation.